Hello, everyone, and welcome to Movie Mandates, the show where my sister and I force each other to watch movies according to a monthly theme. I'm Andrew.
And I'm Kelly.
And it's Pride Month, both in
Happy
America
Pride Month.
and on our podcast, Synergy. So I mandated Kelly watch the only Wachowski film I had yet to see, Jupiter Ascending, a movie that released in 2015, even though it looks like it came out in 2007. But before we delve headlong into review land, it's only fair that since I mandated today's movie, Kelly gets to challenge me in a segment we call Trivial Trivia.
Yes, indeed. And I'm very excited because this is going to be a thinking man's one. We'll try you talk us through your process in getting to the answer. That way it's not just dead air. It's going to be a math equation. No, so there's a show on Peacock right now. I do not have Peacock, and I'm not going to be getting Peacock, but
yeah, nor I.
Exactly. But our favorite actor, who is not, this is all hyperbole. But Kevin Bacon, the one and only, is in a show called They Them. And I have not seen it, but I think it's very exciting because
I believe, if I'm not mistaken, the name of the movie is actually They/Them.
It is.
I think you're supposed to say the slash out loud because it's a slasher movie.
It is. Oh, I didn't know you were supposed to. Oh, yeah, this is very exciting.
They/Them. Get it?
No, but and so I'm super bummed about it because like I do want to watch it because A, it is a horror movie, and B, it's about camp to, I don't know if it's a pray away the gay camp or a
I believe it's a conversion camp.
Yeah, it's
I believe a bunch of queer kids get sent to a conversion camp and there's a slasher there.
And murder ensues. But anyways, so I'm very bummed. But however, it did get me thinking because it's on brand for oh, my internet connection is unstable. I hope I don't go anywhere. Interesting. I just got an alert. Okay, good. Anyways, so here's your trivial trivia.
Okay.
We need to connect Jupiter Ascending.
Okay.
In 6 degrees to Mr. Kevin Bacon. I don't care if you use Mr. Eddie Redmayne, Channing Tatum, Mila Kunis. Those would be my 3 picks, unless you really know the oeuvre of some of those.
It's Sean Bean's everywhere. We
that's true.
Use him somewhere.
Actually, Sean Bean. And Sean Bean.
I am so awful at this.
I know
you are amazing at this.
I'm amazing at this.
I can't do this at all.
I actually made myself do it. Like as I was thinking of it, I'm like, can I? And I did 2 right off the bat, and I was like, okay, I will not try the other 2 at the moment. But yeah, so I thought together, I'm not gonna give you any clues or anything, but like, talk through it because I'm better at names than you are too.
Okay.
So let's help a brother.
So Eddie Redmayne is not going to help me because I don't know what the hell. Well, no, he's in the Fantastic Beasts movies, isn't he?
He's in those.
What the hell is he most known for? What was his big? This is a person that we should watch for some reason.
Marius and he was Marius in Les Mis, the Toby Hooper one, or Toby. What's his name? No, it's not Toby Hooper. It's the other guy. Anyways, doesn't matter. The very close up Les Mis.
Yeah,
but I believe
the one where they had him all singing live.
Yes, he won the Oscar for The Danish Girl, where he
that's what I was thinking of, but I don't know. Well, let's see. Danish Girl, I don't know anyone in. Les Mis had Hugh Jackman. Someone. Hugh Jackman. What's his name? Russell Crowe. And the what's her name? It's you.
What does she look like?
She has eyes and hair, and
she's
in the Princess movie with Julie Andrews. Anne Hathaway, thank you.
Well, because there are other ladies in there, and I needed to make sure that as I am helping you through this, I'm not giving away.
Right. So okay,
so Anne Hathaway, yes, and she is with Julie Andrews in. Not that Julie Andrews helps. Maybe she does. Who knows? I don't know.
Yeah. So let's see. Kevin Bacon. is, let's see, Fred Ward and Tremors, also Michael Gross, but I can really only, I doubt I could name any movies other than Tremors that they've been in.
Reba McEntire was in
Tremors. Reba McEntire, but I don't know what else she's been in movie wise.
She did a show called Reba.
Well, that's a TV show though.
But like it was, yeah. Anyways, please continue.
Okay, let's see. Who has Kevin Bacon? What movies has he been in? He was in the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
I know, and I'll accept it because boy, oh boy, do I love that. I actually was thinking about that. I'm like, can I connect him through there? I haven't tried it yet, but I should see if I can't connect him through there.
That might not be a bad choice because that connects through the entire MCU, which is a butt ton of actors,
a lot of people. So who do we have? We have Kevin. Did we have?
So if I can think of someone else in Lord of the Rings that's also in the MCU, then I can go. I'm sorry. We're linking Kevin Bacon to Jupiter Ascending, right?
Yes.
Okay, so it would be Sean Bean to someone in Lord of the Rings, to someone in Guardians of the Galaxy, to
if we want, so Guardians of the Galaxy. So here's an interesting thing: is there a crossover yet? Because you have Ian McKellen. Oh no, I'm in the wrong. Yeah, Ian McKellen is in.
Ian McKellen is not in the MCU anymore.
No, he's an X-Man, but
he is. You're right. But that's not the MCU. That is Marvel, but it's not the MCU.
But have they had a moment? Because I know they're trying to bring those guys in.
They did with
Has there been a moment?
Well, it doesn't matter because Patrick Stewart is in Doctor Strange. Okay, so
yes.
here we go. Okay, Kevin Bacon is in the Guardians of the Galaxy Christmas special.
Yes.
With let's see, we need to link to Doctor Strange. So with Chris Pratt, who is in Infinity War and Endgame, with Benedict Cumberbatch, who is Doctor Strange, who's in Doctor Strange the Multiverse of Madness, which Patrick Stewart is in there.
He is in there.
And he's with Ian McKellen in any of the other X-Men movies. Well, the X-Men 1, 2, and 3, and Days of Future Past, and a couple of them. And where were we? And Ian McKellen is in Lord of the Rings with Sean Bean, who is in Jupiter Ascending.
Good. We'll call that 6. I love it.
Was I miscounting there somewhere?
I think there might have been 7.
I think it might have had an extra movie in there.
But I got it. It's fine. It was good. I'm very excited because that's not a one that I made, but you can do it because Kevin's everywhere.
Yeah. So did you write down your paths?
So there's a really quick one. Our good friend Eddie Redmayne plays Marius in Les Mis.
Right.
His love interest in Les Mis is Miss Amanda Seyfried, the one with the blonde hair.
Okay.
Amanda Seyfried plays the daughter of Meryl Streep in the Mamma Mia movies, and Meryl Streep, of course, is in the River Wild
with Kevin Bacon. Okay. Yeah, that was 4, I think.
And then the other one that I did was Channing Tatum. Let's see if I can remember this one because I didn't write them down. Channing Tatum is with Matthew McConaughey in Magic Mike. Right. And then Matthew McConaughey is with my girl. What is her name? And I love her so much. Gina Gershon in Killer Joe. Gina Gershon is in Face Off.
Is that the chicken one that you were complaining about a while? Okay.
Yes. But Gina Gershon is in Face Off with John Travolta.
Mm-hmm.
John Travolta is with Love of My Life, Christian Slater, in Broken Arrow. And of course, Christian Slater and Kevin Bacon are in an amazing movie called Murder in the First.
Murder in the First.
So good.
Why
About
am I not
Alcatraz.
remembering?
About Alcatraz.
Oh, right. I think I remember that. Yeah. Okay. I am genuinely stunned I managed to stumble my way through 6, maybe 7 degrees of separation.
It was so fun. And it was a path that I wasn't even on. So I'm really excited. That was fun.
Yeah, because my first thought is like, all right, Sean Bean's in everything. That's gonna help. You know?
Well, and I think, yeah, absolutely. Sean Bean. When I didn't know Sean Bean was going to be in this movie, in fact. And then moreover, I didn't know Sean Bean would survive this.
Yeah, I didn't. So let's now talk about Jupiter Rising. No, Jupiter Ascending. Close enough.
I was this close to being like, really? Was it that?
Is that what it's called?
There's a Mercury Rising.
Oh, maybe that's what I'm confusing it with. Just in the intro, I'd said that this movie came out in 2015, but it looks like it came out in 2007. Do you agree with that?
I would agree. I thought that was a very amazing statement because there was something missing. Like,
except I kind of botched it by trying to say 2007 instead of 2007, but whatever.
I knew.
Yeah, the movie's a little over 2 hours long, and for that entire 2 hours, I'm like, my brain is screaming at me. This is like 2007. Everything looks kind of 2007 to me. But I'm like, I'm pretty sure this came out in 2015. I kept having to look. I'm like, yeah, it's 2000.
We were watching it, and the same thing happened. Like somewhere, not halfway through, but like, a third of the way, quarter of the way through, we're like, when was this movie? And I was like, I have no idea. And then at the end of the movie, when it went back to the title screen and it said 2015, I was like, guessed earlier is what I was just like, I just would have guessed earlier. There was definitely something missing. Like there was just it's
really the presentation and effects and the way that all the green screen stuff is done. It just looks about 2000. I mean, it doesn't look bad. It looks fine for 2007 and just looks old now.
Yeah.
So I have now seen all of the Wachowski's films. I haven't seen like Sense8 or anything like that, but this is not the worst.
Oh,
I would say the worst is probably Matrix 4.
Well, okay,
that was
fair.
stunningly bad. But I think Lily or Lana, whichever one did that movie, I think she made it bad on purpose. That movie felt like two enthusiastic middle fingers at WB,
and it did. And it's true. I agree that it was just terrible. And that kind of is the only way for me to be okay with it. Because even Keanu, I'm like, oh, babe, you're so much better than this.
Oh,
so
yeah,
if they were all in on the joke, then maybe it's okay. Like if they were really all in on it, it's fine. But okay. So
although to Matrix 4's credit, there is a coffee shop called Simulate, which
true.
I was laughing so hard I had to pause the movie. So that's pretty good.
I love it. Okay, yes, but this one's not the worst.
Not the worst.
What an amazing
second from the bottom, perhaps, but not the worst. Which doesn't mean it's bad. I thought it was watchable. It's okay.
So this movie has the same effect that Uncharted did. Like, you want so badly to see it because everything in the previews looks great and it looks really cool. Like it is a movie that I also hadn't seen until last night. But I also hadn't seen this movie, but I know I wanted to because it looked really cool. But then you watch it and it is forgettable. Like it even because Jeremy had seen it and he watched it again last night with me, and I asked him, I was like, do you want to watch it with me because you've seen it or not? He's like, I really just don't remember it. And I sat down and watched it. I was like, I understand why you probably don't remember it, because I mean, I remember it now. We'll talk about it right now, but it is sadly not. There isn't anything that emotionally connects me to it. I think I know why. Go, brother, go.
They don't spend any time on any of the characters and their relationships.
Yeah, there's a love
There's
story
no
that comes out
connection.
of nowhere.
There's no love story. Mila Kunis just, is that her name?
Yes.
Yeah, Mila Kunis.
Throws
She
herself.
just wants to jump Channing Tatum's bones. That's
Throws
it.
herself. I have never seen such an aggressive woman in a movie. Like, I could equate it to there is a Family Guy episode in which Brian is dating this lady. Yes, Brian the dog, I know.
Oh,
but
okay, yeah.
it's the conceit of Family Guy, which you don't watch. But anyways, so Brian is dating this girl.
I was thinking it was the adult, but
no,
then I'm thinking Stewie. No, Stewie's the baby.
Stewie's the
Who's the adult? Bob? Eddie? Peter. Okay, thank you.
But in this episode, Brian's like really likes this girl, so Stewie keeps telling him,
why is the name Griffin in my head? Is there someone named
That's
Griffin?
their last name. That's their last name.
Oh, it's Peter Griffin. Okay.
Yes.
All right.
Yes. So Stewie tells Brian, slow down. Women don't want you to just go wham bam, like slow down, take it slow, Brian. And so this girl though is like, I don't want to take it slow. And there's an actual moment in this certain episode that she's sitting on the end of the bed with her legs spread open, and she has runway lights coming down, and he's like, what do you want to do tonight? She's like, I don't know, what do you think? And I'm like, that is how aggressive Mila Kunis's character, she's like, do you want to bite me? And I'm like, what? Like, where did this come from?
She's like, I saw you without your shirt, and the rest was history. It's like, look, he saved me a couple of times. He's going to save me a couple more times, and he's Channing Tatum, and he looks like
Channing Tatum.
Yes, so off with thine pants. There's much too many pants. I'd hate for pants to get between us.
There's way too many layers between us. We're going to need to lose some of that. But okay,
I think that's the reason, is because there is no time in this stuffed plot to develop or even give lip service to any relationship between our two leads, Mila Kunis and Channing Tatum, between Channing Tatum and Sean Bean, between Sean Bean and his daughter, which is actually a plot point that comes up later and bases his betrayal. It's like, oh yeah, I remember her. Did she go to the store for?
She went to go get groceries.
She went to go get groceries, and then she walked out of the movie.
And he was like, "Are you okay?" And she's like, "Yeah, I'm fine." So you knew something was up there, but that was it. That was it. I don't know. It was very. It was an interesting. So many people.
Yeah.
So many characters.
You have the three Araxis siblings, and I mean, you get a little bit of look. Mia wants to bone Channing Tatum. That's all you're getting out of that one.
Yeah.
The three siblings hate each other because they're all competing for the same prize. That's about it. There's a lot of really cool looking, cool people on the bridge of the big ship that they all fly. There's the commander with the thing on her face. There's the elephant guy who navigates the ship.
Who always looked like bad things was happening to him. He's like, oh, please don't make me drive this thing.
She's like, Brian, do the thing. And that's his whole role. Throughout the entire movie, which I thought was kind of hilarious. There's the android lady on the other side, but I have no idea what anyone's name is, what their deal is, how they feel about each other. They're all kind of cool. They'd be great. It's a movie full of cool action figures that you just kind of slam together, and that's about it. I love
the joystick forward and mash all the buttons.
That's right. I loved Eddie Redmayne's winged lizard people minions. I thought they were super cool.
I loved those.
I love that he used Sir titles. It's like Mr. Smith or Mr. Johnson,
Mr. Kane, or Mr. Wise, Kane Wise, and Mr. Wise. Like everyone was, and then Mr. Knight, I think, was one of his minions. But yeah, it's an interesting.
So,
and I liked. Yes.
what was with? Okay, let me. If I could describe Eddie Redmayne's performance in this movie in one word, that word would be
quiet.
What?
What's that you saying? Yes. Yes.
Whispers his entire performance. This is the choice he made.
That's actually a very good impression, my brother. And
was that his decision, or you think the director told him to do that?
Well, so here's the thing. I would like to discuss him. So I liked the choice because I find so Meryl Streep, we've already talked about her. When she did Devil Wears Prada, which did you ever watch that? Okay. So she did that during interviews after that movie came out.
I love Meryl Streep, but I like the, not to derail us, but the lead character who is, what the hell's her name?
Emily Blunt. Anne Hathaway.
Are we talking about Devil Wears Prada? Yeah. Who's the lead in Devil Wears Prada?
Anne Hathaway.
Anne Hathaway, right? Okay, yeah, I didn't think it was Emily Blunt. Anyway,
she plays the other one. Emily
Blunt. Her character sucks. I don't like her. So I had a little bit difficult time following her as the audience entry point and main protagonist of the film, because I was like, screw her, she sucks. Oh. I liked Stanley Tucci, and who doesn't? And Meryl Streep's character is an asshole, but it's Meryl Streep, so you cut her some slack. Yeah, she's wonderful.
So she talked about that performance. Anyway. She was talking about the performance and about how she doesn't raise her voice and she speaks very just dulcet tones, and just makes you feel small at the end of the day. And she was talking about how she felt like,
I don't need to raise my voice. I don't need to raise my voice.
I don't need, like, it's so much more powerful to not fly off the rails. And so him doing this, I took it kind of like, I was like, you know what, there is something very scary about someone who is actually that controlled in their emotions. However, there were a few times that he did yell, and he chose those times poorly. The first time he said go, and that was like, go get her. And I was like, why did you just yell that? You should have just been very laissez-faire and go. Yes, just
I create life and take it away.
I create life was the one that he yelled, I create life and I'll take it away. And I'm like,
yeah.
And then the third one, so the first one was go, the second one was that, and then the third one that he did, and I cannot remember at this time, but I remember it was quickly after the I create life part. And then I was like, see, now that's the one that you should have done. That's the only one. Because it was when he was talking to Mila about his mother and stuff, and he broke. And I was like, that is the first time you should have broke. Those other two weakened you, and now this doesn't bother me. It doesn't matter to me. And you should have, and maybe that was his point, as he was trying to weaken himself, that he actually isn't as badass as he thinks he is. But I was like, I don't know. So I loved the choice. But unless you give him a better sound mixing, you lose it.
He was kind of hard to hear. Well, here's the difference between him and Meryl Streep, performance-wise, is she's controlled throughout her entire performance. I don't think she yells throughout the entire movie. But she's also not whispering.
Yes. So, like, she just had oral surgery.
Right. Her character comes off as someone who doesn't need to raise her voice to put you in her place, as I said earlier. Eddie Redmayne comes off as someone who has a sore throat.
Okay, that's true. Or it's putting it on. It's not a real voice.
Yeah, I think that's what they were going for with the very laid back. Is like, I don't have to expend too much energy here. You're not worth it.
Yeah.
But it was too whispery, I feel.
I can do that. Have we
So
talked about what the movie's about yet?
I mean, we've only got another 35 minutes. There's a lot of things that this movie's about.
Well, there's also we were
You know
talking
what?
about go.
You know what I would have done to on the kind of the same idea of there being a lot in this movie. I think this really would have worked a lot better as like a 26 episode television series, because you've got so many characters. You've got your main cast of Mila, Channing Tatum, and Sean Bean.
Yes.
And so that's three right there.
Yep.
But then you've got like 5 or 6 people on the main crew of the ship.
Yep.
And then you've got
other bounty hunters.
Other bounty hunter. Then you've got the 4, the 3 Abraxas kids plus the winged lizard dudes in the bag.
Each of the Abraxases have their own, like, I don't want to say army, but like their own entourage and minions to do their bidding. And you get really confused at the double crossing and everything that's happening because you don't meet any, like, obviously the winged guys with Balen, who is Eddie Redmayne's character, those are so obvious and in your face that you're like, okay, those are Eddie Redmayne's. But then some of the other ones, I was like, oh, you guys were working with him? I forgot.
Who has the little gray aliens that turn invisible? Who has
the ones that, I'm like, who had those
again? Right, because the bounty hunters, the one guy who was purple, the woman on the bike with the big blue hair actually really reminded me, because I think
Lana, I know.
Lana has that big pink hair.
So I was like, Lana, you gave her the same hair.
Yeah. So I think if this were like a 26 episode season of television, you'd have enough time to, you'd have an episode that's like, all right, let's hang out on the bridge of this ship and play with the 5 characters who, like the elephant dude and the robot lady and the woman who is the. But it's a 2 hour and 6 minute movie or something like that, and there is no time for anything. It's we don't like each other, we want a bone. And that's about the only relation. I have a daughter. You can assume I really care about her because she's his daughter. But okay, so Mila Kunis gets abducted by aliens, or aliens are actually, some bad guys are trying to get her. Then some other bad guys are trying to get her. Then a third guy, which is Channing Tatum, shows up on hover roller skates, and she decides, well, he's hot, so he's probably fine, Yeah,
that's how that works.
Right. So
that's why Ted Bundy was so, prolific.
He was so charming and such a ladies' man. I've looked at pictures of like Bundy, and I'm like, I'm not seeing it. He looks like a big old dork to me.
I'm not good in pictures. And
maybe I'm the wrong era. So. So it turns out that she is apparently the Queen of Earth.
Yeah,
because
reincarnated
well, it's not exactly. It's a recurrence. You see, our genetic code. If you have enough people, eventually you're going to end up with someone with literally the exact same genetic code. It could take tens of thousands of years or longer, but you get enough people and randomly you're going to end up with the same string. And when that happens, that's a recurrence, and which is similar enough to reincarnation. So 90,000 years ago, the woman who owned Earth passed away, but before she did, she wrote a will and she left Earth to her future self, to any future person who ends up with the same genetic code, just randomly happens to end up with her genetic code. So her future self. And Earth has, a resource that is very popular among spacefaring folk. So the Abraxas kids, who are the children of the woman who owned Earth, are now that they're fighting, they want to kidnap or kill or marry Mila Kunis so that they can get rights to Earth and Plummet's resources.
Harvest it.
And so the pacing in this film isn't exactly great, but they do a couple things quite well. Like, for example, I like when she first meets the daughter of the daughter of Braxis, right?
I liked her, yeah.
And
the
she
only
goes,
character that I kind of was like, you're all right.
yeah, and she goes, "How old do you think I am?" She goes, 40 something. She's like, "Yeah, try like 14,000."
Yeah, I just celebrated my 40th
14th millennium.
14th.
Like, you're 14,000 years old, huh? 14,004.
I like that. She's
And
like,
so she says, "Now watch this. This is cool." And so she doffs her robe, dunks herself in a pool, and comes out looking 20. And she's like, ah, ah, ah. And Mila Kunis was like, "Holy shit!" And she's like, "Yeah, we have like a really good milk. It keeps the body strong." And she's like, "That's pretty awesome." And what it turns out is that milk is it's juiced humans. And it takes like
100
people. You'd have to juice 100 people to fill up a water bottle this size.
Yeah.
So 100,000 years ago, they killed all the dinosaurs and seeded humans on the planet, so that millennia later there'd be 7 or 8 billion people on the planet, and you could just harvest them and make the eternal youth goo, because the resource that they're trafficking in space is time.
Wow.
I'm like, okay,
I'll take it.
That's a fun conceit. I like that. And it's could have tightened up the delivery of that a little bit, but I liked how they doled it out over the course of the film.
But when you say timing issues, one of my biggest moments of like, just I wanted to, it was like, oh, ouch, that hurt, is Eddie Redmayne has a line like they're upping his facilities to make harvesting of Earth go smoothly, because at this point, the deed to Earth, the title to Earth, is in limbo, because she needs to come claim it. She being Jupiter. And
Mila Kunis's character.
Yes, Mila Kunis.
Her name is Jupiter, so she's ascending to the throne
owner of Earth,
kind of.
She's ascending to the owner of Earth. So he's speeding up his production lines or whatever, because he's going to harvest Earth before she gets it. And he says, I will harvest it tomorrow, before I let her get a hold of that title or whatever. He was like, I will harvest Earth tomorrow.
Because they make a point to say Earth is not quite ripe yet.
Right.
I mean,
yeah.
Still needs another 100 years or so. Once we get about 9 or 10 billion people, then it'll be.
Which 100 years is nothing to them, but he says, I will harvest it tomorrow, before she gets, the deed.
Right.
The very next scene, she ends up with the deed. And I was like, well, shit, dude, there goes your plans. Like that there's no conflict. Like, she's got the deed. Walk away.
Got it now.
Like, now we're done.
So he kidnaps her family. It's like, abdicate your claim to the planet, or I'm going to juice your family.
Yeah.
And she's like, well, so yeah, it's not terrible. It's just, as you said, nothing sticks in memory because there are no relationships in the film that actually work. And what's funny is, I could actually get behind, it's actually kind of refreshing to have a woman in a movie who's just, it's like, nah, I want a bone now. Just outwardly sexually aggressive. Because you don't see that too much.
It's true.
But I don't think that's what they were going for. I think they just didn't do much with any character development, because it's played like Mia and Channing have gone through this great
will they,
adventure.
won't they? Like, will they, won't they? Will they, won't they? Like,
this has been something that's been building, and it's like, no, it's not.
Yeah.
At all.
And that's the thing is, and to her credit,
he's just been giving her a piggyback ride for like the last 45 minutes of the film,
right?
As he drags her around with lasers. Oh, I'm sorry to interrupt. I love the decision that all of the lasers from the handguns and the ships make pew pew sounds. They're really understated. You know,
Yeah.
there's no boom, 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 or
Yeah.
it's not cannon sounds. It's very lasery 70s video game pew pew sounds.
Yeah, it's
Like
fun.
the sounds that like play Space Invaders, and the little pew pew pew, kind of makes sounds like that, and it kind of undercuts the scene in a way, but I just kind of love the sound design of these pew 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 lasers.
But yeah, that's true. I didn't even think about that, but now that you say it, it's very much sticking out. But no, and to Mila's credit, I was just gonna say she's doing a lovely job at trying to like make it seem like she's just letting this guy know that the door's open. But since we never even knew we as an audience never knew there was a door to begin with, it does seem aggressive. But like if there was something to build up, like she was doing her damnedest. And here's the thing, I have nothing against Channing. I think he's fine. I've seen him in movies that I think he is fine in, even good. They don't have chemistry though.
No.
Like they really don't have chemistry.
I think blonde is not his color, and he knew it, and he was embarrassed.
Yeah, because he wasn't giving anything.
No.
And I've seen him and I'm like, why? You've been in 21 Jump Street and you're hilarious. Like, what the heck, buddy? Yeah,
there's no tangible relationship or connection between any of the characters. There's supposed to be this big friendship between him and Sean Bean. You don't feel it.
This history.
Yeah.
This history that they would like go out on a limb for each other. And then this random, you need a wolf pack of your own, Channing. And
never
she's your wolf pack and you need to go to her. And I'm just like,
what?
Two is not a pack. Like, I get it. I get what you're saying. But yeah, it was very unfortunate, brother, because I was very...
Bees really like her because she's a queen, you see, and they recognize royalty.
But here's the thing. So here's the thing.
I'm not kidding. That's actually a thing in the movie. It's not important. She does throw bees at one dude.
Which I would have used that power on. I would have just but they go to accumulate Sean Bean, and his house is covered. It's chock-a-block with hives. And so there's bees all around, apparently for reasons. And so she goes there and Sean Bean and Channing get into this fight outside, like they're hitting each other, rolling around in the front lawn. And on the porch is the daughter of Sean Bean and Mila standing there. And there's like bees floating about. And, and she's like, and I'm in my head, like all I could think of is I was I'm not standing on this porch. I'm either going inside or I'm going to stand out on the sidewalk over there until you guys figure your out. Because just standing next to a bee. Oh, and then all of a sudden I thought she was getting attacked because she was like, she had been standing there. She was there. She was, for a bit, they had been fighting. And then all of a sudden she's like, the bees are getting too much because they were starting to come surround her. And I'm like, they would have done that 10 minutes ago. These boys you've been established. You've been here. But anyways, and then it was just so quick. And he says, bees can smell royalty or whatever that was. And then it's dropped. We never see bees again.
She throws bees at one of her attackers, and it's not very effective.
Right.
Never comes up again.
So is that so was he so then was Sean Bean having all of those bees?
Was he looking for the recurrence of the next queen?
That's what I'm wondering. Was
just
this
in case she happened in his lifetime?
If she ever comes into my house, was he beekeeping, or was it just because he had this dilapidated home that just kind of started growing nests and stuff. And
Yeah,
it just
honestly,
happens that
narratively, it doesn't matter. But I was wondering the same thing. I'm like, is he just happened to own a honey farm, or is he doing that on the off chance that the recurrence happens in his lifetime and stumbles onto his porch?
Oh, and that's another thing. He even asks her because she's like, he goes, "You've never been stung by a bee, have you?" And I'm like,
Neither
first
have
off,
I.
I was gonna say, I'm like, first off, she's
Lots of
like
people haven't.
early 20s, so like life's not over. And B, so many people haven't. I have
Yeah.
more than once, but
Yeah.
not everyone has. I mean, I haven't been struck by hornets, and you have. So
True.
so it's just one of those. He's like, "You've never been bitten by a bee," and I'm like, maybe make it something like you've never
Well,
sneezed.
I mean, Unbreakable works because it's like you've never been sick a day in your life, have you, Bruce Wilson? It's like, oh my gosh, that
I've never taken a sick day.
probably
I've never,
nobody could lay a. It's like you've never taken a sick day. Wait a minute, have you ever been sick in your entire life, Mom? Have I ever been sick? No. It's like, oh my gosh. See, that's something that you can't imagine any human being making it into their 40s somewhere without ever getting a cold at some point or breaking a toe or something.
right.
That's like, oh my gosh, but you've never been stung by a bee. It's like, yeah, me and the huge
A
chunk
lot
of the
of
rest
people.
of
Me and
population.
everybody in Alaska, because I doubt they're there.
It's like, have you ever eaten a passion fruit? No.
But they're in every store. How do you not eat them?
I
I don't buy things.
never got around it. I actually have. I did
I
an
know
Andrew
you
Eats
have.
on passion fruits. They're really gross looking, but they're actually very tasty. I quite like them.
I don't like lychee.
That's
That I don't like.
I've
The lychee
had
nuts.
I've had flavored drinks, but I don't know if I've had the actual fruit.
Oh, really? I don't
It is a fruit,
recommend it.
right?
Yes, and it has a very hairyish, like it's like kiwi on crack coating, like that you peel off, and it's like a thicker kind of fuzziest husk, and then you have the lychee is probably around the same gooey kind of weirdness as a kiwi, but is not delicious in my head or in my mouth.
Had a rambutan, not really sure. Those are those small red, kind of spiky looking ones, but the spines are kind of soft.
Yes.
But anyway, Jupiter Ascending.
Yes, we'd rather talk about crazy fruit.
Well, you know what? I will tell you for positives.
Yeah.
The music score of the movie was very good. I was sitting there throughout the movie going, man, this is a really good film score. I'm really impressed. And I looked at the credits, and it's Michael Giacchino, if that's how you pronounce his name. I'm not sure. I'm like, oh, well, that explains it. He's done everything. I mean, probably my favorite score from his is the Incredibles, the Pixar movie. He's done a bunch of Pixar films. He's done a bunch of the Marvel stuff. He actually directed Werewolf by Night.
The one that I know I've seen and I have zero recollection of. I think I must have fallen asleep because I love Gael Garcia Bernal. I would remember him.
Yeah. He's some of the Star Wars things. He did Rogue One, probably some others. Well
then, yes.
The later Jurassic World movies. So yeah, he hell of a composer, very talented dude. Writes good music. So I was after really enjoying the film score for the entire movie, it's like, oh well, that makes sense. Yeah, hire a good composer, get a good film score out of it.
Amen.
So
but hey,
what'd you think about the scene at the DMV where she's trying to get her queenly credentials?
It was funny until the end. So that scene, she's trying to get the title, or she's trying to get entitled, like her title as, Her Majesty, if you will. And it's hilarious because she goes and she has kind of like an agent with her to kind of help
just
her
walks
through.
Right out of the movie at some point. he
right?
bribes someone like halfway through the process, and
And then the process is
then
over.
leave, and then well, the process isn't over for her apparently. He
But
just
that's
leaves, and then it's
but
just her and Channing Tatum who go to the like final leg of the process, which I'm like, okay.
that was another part of the timing thing, is that they go from place to place in this hall of titles, or this world of titles, or department of
Which is
titles, or whatever it was called.
surprisingly analog for some reason.
Right? And so they go there, and everyone's like, no, you're gonna need the tax ID for this, this, and this, and go see this department. And then you get to that department, they're like, they should have sent you to this department. And they're like, no, we're not the Department of Emergencies, we're the Emergency Department of Emergencies, or whatever, just like that kind of idea, like with linguistics and stuff. So it's just, and then finally they've gone to like what, 5 or 6 different people at this point, and finally this agent is like, what can I do to get this just from you? And so he bribes the agent, they get the thing, and then all of a sudden, and I'm like, wouldn't you have to like backtrack? And like, I thought it would be funnier if then it's like, okay, then you bring this thing back to this guy, and this thing back to this guy, and go back up the ladder of the people who kept sending you down. But they don't. They go all the way down. He bribes him, and he's like, here's this whatever ID that you needed. Don't forget to tip your waitress. I'm out. And you're like, oh, that started as something pretty funny, just ended. They're like, oh, we don't have time to go back up. The movie's 2 hours, and we'll just say it.
And we lost, that was all and we only had that one actor for a day. So now it's just the whole entourage is gone. It's just Janet. I guess they all got bored after a while and said, you know what, this whole Queen of Earth thing is not exciting enough to keep waiting in line at the DMV. So you guys are on your own.
Yeah, it was, but I thought it was great. I was like, oh, this is funny, and this is, the payoff was light.
I also kind of find it fun that the movie, so Mila Kunis, her character lives with her extended family. She works as a house cleaner. She has to get up at 4:50 or 4:45 every morning to eat breakfast and then go clean the toilets of people who own extremely big houses, and that's her life. But now she goes on this big space adventure, and she not only saves the earth from future harvesting, but she is now Queen of the Earth, which doesn't matter in the least, because nobody on Earth is going to recognize her or is going to acknowledge or accept her little Queen of Earth tattoo. Right. So she goes right back to scrubbing toilets. Yeah. But she's banging Channing Tatum now, so it's not like her life, and her family bought her a telescope.
Yeah, they probably went into major debt doing it, because again, she has no fortune being the Queen of Earth.
Yeah, bad.
But I thought that was funny that she's scrubbing toilets. I was like, well, look at her.
But yeah, she doesn't cash in. I mean, again, still banging Channing Tatum, but who now has wings.
Yeah, he has wings now, but he still has a weird, so it's not like she can just bring him home to meet the family.
Yeah, so he has wings now for a bit. So he
which is funny, because I thought Sean Bean was supposed to have wings, not Channing.
Well, I guess he got them too, maybe. They didn't show that, but I'm sure his daughter's fine too. She probably got back from the grocery store and was like, how is everybody? And
where the hell did everybody go?
And so
this dinner is ruined.
Yeah, our honey and corn farm has been a seriously, all the bees and stuff. They also have a gigantic cornfield right outside. That is so honey and corn.
They do. That's delicious.
Although I did appreciate the restraint of the visual crop circles joke, because they're firing weapons, and the spaceship lands and spins around and picks her up and flies off. And if you're looking in the background, you can see that it left crop circle. I'm like, no need to rub my face in it. I get it. That's fine.
I like it. Cool. It's a little.
But yeah, it's kind of interesting that she's still scrubbing toilets. Yeah. She got a Channing Tatum as a boyfriend. She got his hover roller skates, because he has wings now, and she got a telescope.
So yeah,
and she saved Earth. So
perfect. She gets to live another day.
Yeah.
Boom. Yeah, it was weird. It wasn't like an unenjoyable sit.
Yeah.
It was fine. I was watching it. I was with it. I wasn't like, oh my God. I wasn't hating it at all. It was just, it came, it went, I moved
The
on
first
with my
40
day.
minutes, because it takes about 40 minutes before you really start to get like, oh, okay, I get what the premise of the
Yes.
film is.
Yes.
Because
There's,
it's like, okay, there's like 3 or 4 different factions of people who all want Mia Kunis for some reason, and we're going to space, and what are we doing? I mean, Earth seems to be in danger. There's a queen. It's going to turn out to be her, but how does that relate to her Russian family who was murdered by the Russian mafia, and uh then she got on a cargo, her mom hid away in a cargo container and sailed to America and gave birth to her in international waters. I'm like, okay, that has nothing to do with it. Okay.
it's
All right.
interesting. It's fun.
It's fine.
It's a humble beginnings.
Sure, it's fine. It's about 40 minutes before we're like, oh, okay, I see what the setup, the premise, the world building, the main conflict is. Okay, all right, cool.
It takes
Let
a
us
while. And I
begin.
think you're right though. It's because of the massive amount of intro, like not even intros, just massive amount of like, boom, these characters already here in existence. You need to be caught up. And you're like, oh, they're
You
talking about
guys know
things and I
each
don't know what.
other. I guess
Yeah.
you know each other.
And
All
they're like,
right.
do you trust me? Because now we're gonna team up and and backstab these people. And I'm just like, I don't even know what you guys are teaming up for. Like,
Yeah.
I've yet to realize that you were even on the same team.
Right. If I cared about the characters and
Yeah,
the relationships between them, this movie would have worked a lot better.
you are
Because
correct.
even slight movies that are lots of spectacle, like Star Wars movies and the Marvel movies and stuff like that, where they when they succeed, where they succeed is you love the characters. It's like, I like these people, they're so much fun. I want to hang out with them on an adventure. I want to see how the different characters interact with each other. There is not a single 2 characters in all of Jupiter Ascending where I'm like, I really want to see these two, come to loggerheads or have a beer or get in the
Yeah.
same room and see how they bounce off it. I don't care, because no
Nope.
one
I have no idea.
really
No one
has.
has a
Yeah,
thought. Yeah.
they're neat looking action figures, and we're just slamming them together, and it's about it. Which is fun, but maybe not the most dramatically satisfying.
No.
So I really think this could have worked if you had the budget as a long form television series, because that really would have given you a chance, given you the time to focus on smaller groups of
Yeah.
people uh, at a time, develop those characters and their relationships. And they're like, okay, now we can throw them together in different combinations and see what happens. But it's just a 2-hour movie, so
Yeah. And you could do like a flashback episode to find out like why he lost his wings in the first place. Or you could really, yeah, there would be a lot more because
why he needed them. I mean, those hover
it
roller
is
skates seem pretty OP. I don't know if the wings do any better.
they just get in the way and I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know. It's over now.
Yes. All right. So but Pride Month is
It's
not over.
no, it's not.
So what are you mandating we watch next?
I'm very excited. So this was obviously a very difficult task and choice for me because it's one of my favorite genres. And I know so many, and of course my immediate inclination was like, well, I love this one, this one, this one, this one, and I want Andy to watch this, and I want him to watch this, but I was like, you know what? I want to watch A Fantastic Woman, starring Daniela Vega.
Oh,
And
is that the name of the movie? A Fantastic Woman?
yes,
Okay, I haven't even heard
and
of that one.
it won the foreign language film Oscar. I think it won for the foreign language film, but it won an award some award. And of course, Daniela Vega won some independent type awards and stuff. And it was something that I remember at the time when it came out, I was so excited about her, and I was so excited about the movie. And I hope beyond hope that where it is streaming, that it is subtitled and not dubbed, but I believe it'll be subtitled. I think we'll be fine. But yeah, so Fantastic Woman, I am very excited.
Okay, sounds good. All right.
Yeah. What's wrong? Oh,
There's
what's
just
happening?
people outside
People.
talking.
Oh,
Using their outside voices, which
I can still hear inside.
Seems like, yes. Well, if I can hear your outside voice from inside, you're doing it wrong.
Well,
okay. Well,
then I spend my life doing it wrong.
That's right. So today's episode may have come and gone, but Pride Month continues next time with Kelly's mandated movie, A Fantastic Woman,
Isn't
which
she?
I've never heard of. But there's lots and lots and lots of movies. So I mean, occasionally you're going to come across one that you haven't heard of. So, all right. If you'd like to watch too, and I know you like to watch, check out the description to see where it's currently streaming or available to rent. Until then, you can watch Movie Mandates on YouTube or listen to it in podcast form on iTunes. And hey, if you enjoy the show and would like to help us reach a wider audience, and because YouTube certainly ain't going to help with that.
No, there's nothing that they're going to try to do for us.
It's like, oh yeah, I see those 11,400 and some subscribers you got there. How about we notify
one of them
57 people that you have a new video?
Hi, Lou.
Hi, Lou. Hi, Brian.
Hi,
Jared, and Chaos, and all our friends. All right, so if you're watching,
Lindy.
And Lindy too, yeah. So if you're watching on YouTube, like and comment. If you're listening on iTunes, rate and review. Much obliged. With that, I'm Andrew. Follow me on Twitter at Andrew Eisen.
I am Kelly, and I am at Gift Isengard.
We hope you've all enjoyed this episode of Movie Mandates, and we'll be back soon with another mandated movie. Bye, everyone.